everybody. I've got turned down for What Truck Series tonight. Joined in the booth tonight also by Dylan McDonald out of the ARC Series and the HTL Series that I broadcast on Monday nights. Dylan, welcome to the pre-race show. We've got Bristol Motor Speedway here tonight in the trucks. 200 laps. Should be a very thrilling race with about 19 to 20 guys on track. Well, thank you for joining the booth. Dylan, you got a copy?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Loud and clear as I hear these trucks just screaming around this track. I'm kind of excited for this race. My wife bought me tickets to go to the Xfinity and the Cup Series race this fall at Bristol, so kind of puts me in the mood whenever I broadcast a race when it's at Bristol. It's under the lights. It's the fall setting, so it's exactly what I'm hoping it'll be in the fall. And I don't know if you've ever been to Bristol, but it's on my bucket list, so that's why she bought it for me for for my wedding present. So definitely looking forward to that. I don't know if you have a ton of experience at Bristol, or if you've been to Bristol or anything like that. Give us a little rundown on your experience, history, or anything like that with Bristol.
The only time I went to Bristol was when my uncle raced at Bristol for the U.S. Short Track Nationals. He did it 2 years in a row, and that was actually pretty fun. It happens in May. You know, everybody from across the world goes to Bristol for this big race throughout the middle of the year, and that's the only time I've ever been to Bristol. But the atmosphere for Bristol, with it being so short and so loud, especially with the super lates, front wheel drives, everything is just it's an awesome, very awesome experience to be a part of the Bristol Baby Nation.
Absolutely. I kind of wish it was about maybe 10, 15 years ago and Dale Jr. would still be out on track. Maybe even Terry Labonte, Tony Stewart, Rusty Wallace, any one of those guys that I remember watching when I was a kid. Obviously, you're much younger than I am, so I remember watching in the early to mid 90s with some of those guys, Dale Jarrett, Kyle Petty, Dale Sr. I mean, all those guys running around this track. Obviously, nowadays it's a little different. It's not that pavement. We've got the concrete in here. I know Dale Jr. is a huge pusher for removing this concrete that they got here at the last Coliseum. But I don't know. I'm kind of wishy-washy on both of the pavement or the concrete. I don't know how you feel about it, though.
Yeah, especially with concrete, you know, it's going to chew up a lot more tires. But with pavement, I mean, you've seen it time and time again. Pavement is king, especially for most of the races that I've watched throughout the whole years of my 26 years of life. But I mean, if you go to Dover, which is another concrete track, you're going to see a lot of different strategies. It's a self-cleaning racetrack. Bristol's kind of the same way, but it's also a blind track as well. I mean, you come around the corner, there's a wreck, you can't see it until it happens right in front of you, and good luck getting your brakes wound down just in time to miss the wreck. But I think I might have to go with Dale Jr. on that. I wouldn't like. I would actually like to see Bristol go back to an asphalt track.
Yeah, I'm kind of that way. I'm kind of looking at it nowadays. What they did to Atlanta recently. If you took Atlanta and shrunk it down to this less than what, right at a half mile track, and then threw in the 140 mile an hour, 130 mile an hour going into the corners, that's essentially what they do at Atlanta now. But obviously at 185, 190 miles an hour on a mile and a half track. So I'm kind of I don't know. I really like the pavement. I'm not a huge fan of the concrete. I do like it at Dover and a few other tracks, but Bristol, I'd love to see them go back to old school. I mean, they're bringing back dirt and they're bringing back dirt in different series and things like that. So um, if they really want to go back to the heart of racing and NASCAR, I kind of just wish they'd stick to the pavement and not really have the concrete, except for at the traditional tracks where they've had concrete for since the beginning. Whereas Bristol obviously started, or before it went to concrete, was on pavement.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like if they do go to pavement, it's going to provide a lot more better racing. I guess you should say. I mean, the concrete that they have now, it still provides good racing, but I think you're going to see a lot more harder racing and possibly even more bump and runs more than what you see now.
Oh, absolutely. Bumper Run was famous back in the day. Of course, now with
Yeah, it
these
was.
new next gen cars, I feel like you can't even touch them. They wreck so many times by themselves now compared to actually getting bumped and banged. as in back in the day where they just smashed each other, and those cars kind of stood, right where they were. It took a lot to really wreck those cars. Nowadays, you don't even have to touch them. You can just get close enough to where the air just spins them around, or they can be by themselves and go around themselves. But speaking of tonight's turn down for what races, 4 races left in the season. Right now, the points are really close. Not as close as they have been in previous seasons, but bringing the standings up, Nate Lehman, who just clinched his Xfinity Series championship a few weeks ago, he is currently the leader in the Truck Series as well. This season, having 3 wins, average start of 6th, average finish of 6th. He's been being chased down by a teammate, Josh Arnold, who I think is the one to watch for tonight. He's kind of called this race a few times of being in the booth saying, Bristol's coming, Bristol's coming. I know it's one of his favorite tracks. I know him and a bunch of guys are headed to Bristol this fall as well, so hoping I can maybe catch a glimpse of him or have a beer or sit down with him or something. But there's a whole group of these guys from this league that are going this fall. Hunter Peach was last season's Truck Series champion. Got 2 wins. He's really fast here. He's usually up towards the front at the start of a race. He's got that average start of 4. His finishes haven't been as good though. He's been only getting an average finish of 8th. The rest of the top 10 though is Cole Snyder with 2 wins as well. Byron Jones sitting with 0, sitting 5th in the points. Without that win is a pretty good tall task. Same with Josh Arnold sitting up in 2nd with 0 wins. I know he'd love to get his win here tonight at Bristol. Papa Bear Campbell sitting there in 6th. That's the owner admin of Turn Down for What, does so much for these guys and the racers and the fans and everybody that tunes in. Really appreciate all that he does. Jeff Ludham is one of my KS Gaming drivers, also known as Mike Honcho. He's sitting right there in 7th. Jose Ruiz sitting there in 8th. Christopher Murphy, another one of my KS Gaming guys, sitting there in 9th. And then Ryan McCall, new to this season, sitting there in 10th. So there's only probably 3 or 4 guys there at the top who are really close in the points to battle it out for these last 4 races, which is Bristol, Michigan, Charlotte, and Auto Club. So things could get shaken up. But if Nate Lehman keeps going on the tear that he's been on in Xfinity and trucks, I don't know if he can be beaten. But if there's somebody to do it, it's one of those 2 guys or 3 guys right behind him, Josh Arnold, Hunter Peach, and Cole Snyder. Those guys are all 3 really, really good veterans and have a ton of skill. So looking forward to that. Dylan, I don't know if you've raced with any of these guys. I know you've broadcasted a race with me here before and watched a few of them. I don't know if you have a favorite on track or a guy you'll be paying attention to or just somebody you saw in practice or qualifying.
Actually, a guy that I do race with on Saturdays would be, what's it, Byron Jones.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah.
Byron Jones is actually, I run with him on Saturday nights, and the dude is super quick, and he just knows how to be there at the end, especially in the ARC series on Saturday night. And I believe the last time I was in here in the booth with you was at iRacing Super Speedway. So hopefully he can turn his luck around here and see what he can do throughout the whole race tonight.
Absolutely. Well, before this thing kicks off here, as they're getting ready to grid, as qualifying's ending, they got about a minute left in qualifying. I'm gonna throw it on the national anthem, give that big salute to the red, white, and blue, all the men and women out there who support and defend, put their lives on the line, whether it's in the military, first responders, police, fire department, all those type of people that are just heroes in my book. So, big shout out to them and the ultimate salute to the red, white, and blue. We'll be right back. All right, Dylan, and we are done with qualifying. Obviously, like I said, that big salute to the red, white, and blue, all the first responders, military, veterans, um, just huge love for them. So, bringing up the grid for tonight, it's going to be Zach Meredith out on the pole in that 17 machine. He won their next gen practice league that they're doing for recruiting last week. So, big look for him to be at the front. Not surprised at it at all. So Zach's really fast. Cole Snyder in that 24 machine, as I said earlier, has 2 wins. He's sitting in second tonight. Josh Arnold, the other one I mentioned, pretty much all of the top 5, besides Nate Lehman, is in the top 10 to start this race. So you got Josh Arnold sitting there in third. Byron Jones, who you mentioned, Dylan, sitting in fourth. Hunter Peach starting out in fifth. James Mench, a new driver to this series, starting out in sixth tonight. Braden Holt back in the field in that 54 machine, sitting seventh. Kyle Taub in the 8th position. Ryan McCall in 9th, and Chase McGuire in 10th. If you want to run through the rest of that list.
In position number 11 is Mike Allen in the 88 truck. 12th will be Jeff Ludnam in the number 37. 13th will be Mike Campbell Jr. in the number 71. 14th will be Enrique Quinones in the 98. Nathan Lehman, guy who's been on a tear this whole season, starting P number 15 in the number 14 truck. Pacey Wingent starting off 16th in the 00. 17th will be Andrew Chapman in the number 99, with Samuel Wade rounding out your 18-car field in the number 27.
So just so I don't get screamed at by those guys, and I'm trying to figure out where James's comment was about how to say his last name. So James, I apologize if I've already said it wrong, but the rest of those guys was Enrique Quinones and Pacey Wygent.
Oh, okay, yeah. See, I mean, it's kind of like how I did with the Shad at iRacing Super Speedway. So,
yeah. But we are going to go green here as they're getting ready to come around. This thing is going to be fast and loud tonight. I don't know what's going to happen in turn 1. Can these guys get through turn 1, get a little spread out, maybe a little single file action going on, and then do those bump and runs start up as we noticed before, or we talked about before, that bump and run was the old style. But we're going to go green here. Those loud pedals are smushed to the floor, and they are screaming into turn 1 and 2, side by side, 2 by 2, about 8 rows back now.
it looks like third and fourth actually got themselves single file as the top 2 actually battle out, but just behind the number 22, they are back 2 wide as James Monch, and I think that's correct, I'm sorry if it's not, and Hunter Peach are actually they are single file going into turn 1 and 2. 3 and 4, excuse me.
Yeah, these guys are very well known to each other. The 24-17, they're very, very close friends. There's several others right there as well with Josh Arnold, Hunter Peach, Kyle Taub, Braden Holt. Those guys are all part of a group that run around with Josh Arnold. They usually call themselves J-Paw Militia, but tonight they are a little different. So they've got separation between teams. Here at Turndown for what they have teams leveled or put out. So you can only have 4 members per team. So these guys have had to split up, but they seem to usually work well together and play nice between each other. But that guy you were talking about earlier on in the race, Byron Jones, working on the bottom right now for second place underneath Zach Meredith in that 17 Wonder Bread car, throwing homage to Talladega Nights there with Ricky Bobby paint scheme. Byron really trying to work that bottom. I think the bottom only works for about the first handful of laps in the run if you want to make up positions, but then you got to migrate to that top. If you continue to run the bottom, Dylan, I think it just really shreds those tires up. You can try to run the top and try to do the dive down to the corner and then swing up in front of them, that old slide job that we always hear about, but I don't think the bottom is going to really work tonight.
Yeah, with me being in a racer, especially with the trucks, I am exactly how you are. You know, I do want to make my position on the bottom, but towards the end of your pit run, you're going to be up by the wall, kind of high arcing the corner, you know, entering a little bit higher, diamonding it, getting down to the bottom, and letting the truck, and say, slide back up, by the outside wall, and that actually proves dominant as it looks like Byron Jones actually makes the pass for P number 2 on the 17 coming out of turn number 4.
Yeah, that was kind of a power move. I don't know if Zach maybe messed up or if Byron just really threw it in there. I wasn't able to tell if it was the power move I think it was, or if it was just a miss by Zach Meredith and Byron able to complete the pass. That bottom, like we said, I don't think it'll last more than 10, 15 laps. We are 12 laps into the race tonight, but once that bottom groove really starts to shred those tires, you really want to migrate to the middle and the top, and then really have to make your passes in and out. Doing that diamond effect that you were talking about, that's really the way that I've seen a lot of guys run the short tracks, especially Richmond, Martinsville, Bristol, any one of those type of tracks. The guys who can really diamond that corner are the guys that can really be fast to this track, because you can let it go in deep. It'll slide up the track just a little bit, and then you can get back on the gas and get out of there off the bottom, and it kind of just shoots you out of the corner, rather than rotating the entire top line where it's the longest way around the track. Now it is a half-mile track, Dylan, so it doesn't really say too much about cutting the track, but I really think that that diamond effect is the way to drive these short tracks.
Oh yeah, for sure. And another thing you're going to have to point out during tonight is you're going to see a lot of people who are fast and going to try to pull away from the field. But as the runs go on, you're going to see those tires be used up a little bit more. As yes, you want to get that gap over second or third place or wherever you are on track. But as no cautions come out, those tires are going to wear a little bit more, and you're going to bring everybody back to you. And that's when you could either get yourself into some trouble trying to throw a late block on somebody, or possibly lose positions as you burn your stuff up while the guys behind you are just saying, hey, you know what, let him do what he's going to do. I'm just going to chill back here and wait for my time. As it looks like the 24 has made one pass on a lap down car, and here comes Byron Jones kind of being up there with him, trying to see if he can track down the number 24 of Cole Snyder.
Yeah, and he's already put two guys a lap down. One is Jeff Jones. The other is our points leader. So a very bad start to this race for Nate Lehman in that 14 machine. We have another car really slow on the bottom. Try to pull up Nate's car now. He does have a ton of damage to the front bumper and right side as we get a caution out on track. The 95 was really slow off the track on that bottom line. I noticed him down there. Didn't look like he was under power or something, or he was underpowered or something. But Nate Lehman, they have no fast repairs, so this is going to take a little while to get fixed up for him. He is going to be the first car one lap down, so he will get that lucky dog. But he's going to have to sit on pit road to get this thing fixed up. And if the optional damage is too long with this short track, you can really go laps down, even under caution laps, because of the short track and short amount of time that it takes to go around the track. A green flag stop is horrible on these short tracks. With 2 to 3 laps, you'll go down. Underneath caution, you might lose a lap sitting there if the required damage is too long. If it takes longer than, I think, what's a caution lap here, like 35 seconds or 40 seconds or something like that. So I mean, if it takes longer than that, you can definitely put yourself a lap down if it's required. If it's optional, obviously, once they come off of turn 4, you can hit the gas pedal and get out of there. But you might not get all that damage fixed either, Dylan.
Yeah, that's going to be another big thing is, you kind of want to be cautious about where you put your truck and how hard you are driving into the corner. As we look and see, the 14 had a little bit of side damage and maybe possibly a little bit of nose damage on that number 14. Hopefully he can get into pit road, get some of that damage fixed, and hopefully he doesn't have to sit in pit road very long.
Yeah.
And see if the points leader can
I'm
come back out
wondering
and
if
see what
this
he
was
can
an
do.
issue with with the start of the race, because I'm noticing his teammate, the 98, has a smashed-in rear as well. So him having the smashed-in front end and the rear end, I'm going to say that was an accordion effect on the start of the race, and he paid the worst of it as he's got damage on the front, rear, and right side scraped all the way down the side of that truck. So I'm going to bet that was an issue with with the start of the race. But there's a lot of guys who stayed out right here. Only a handful of guys came down and took tires or fuel. I would guess at this point you probably don't want to come down and take tires, I would assume. I would assume you just come down and take fuel. I think they have 5 sets of tires tonight for a 200-lap race. I mean, you could run, 90 laps on one set and fuel, I think. So Um, I don't think you're going to use them all, so I guess use them if you got them. But I don't know if I'd have taken tires. I think I might have taken fuel and just try to stretch it out as far as possible and hope a caution comes out when green flag stops happen.
Yeah, that strategy right there that you said when some people actually took tires and all that, that actually ruined my chances for a championship in another league. I took tires in the first stage and we only had 4 sets. And the whole rest of the race, I had a give and take where I took my tires and where I didn't, and it ended up costing me the championship. But I mean, here at Bristol, you're not really turning the wheels so much. You shouldn't be, but if you really have to drive it in deep on the inside or really have to work around somebody, you're going to burn up more tire, you're going to turn the wheel a lot more, and inevitably that's just going to hurt your chances at saving tire in the long run. Looks like we have the one to go,
Yeah, sorry, I was
possibly.
trying to get the volume turned up there. I was trying to hear the engines. I had it turned up on iRacing, but for some reason I just couldn't hear them. So turned them up. But yeah, I don't think I would have came down for tires. I think I would have came down for fuel, fix a little damage if I had any. And I would probably try to stretch out the fuel as far as possible. They went 26 laps. If you went fuel only right now, that's an extra 26 laps that you could run, even though on all tires. If a caution comes out when green flag stop, that's a lot of guys you could trap multiple laps down. And those guys could maybe never recover. If you don't have a string of cautions or anything, those guys could be trapped the entire race. So I don't know what they were thinking there. I know some of them are probably thinking, oh, I can go fresh tires and maybe make up some positions. But even Byron Jones, he was in the top 5, and he came down. He was on the pit road for 14.2, so I'm going to guess he took tires. And he's back in 12th right now, so not a huge drop, but it could be costly. There's no stage break, so there's no break in the race whatsoever unless somebody goes around you.
Yeah, that's going to be another key to this race is track position. Yes, it looks like a wide track, but when you're actually down there racing, track position is going to be key. It's kind of like another Martinsville where you don't want to pit too early and get stuck behind a lot of people as, you know, cautions may come out, and you just don't want to be in the back where some of that stuff does happen. So I'd have to give everybody that pit big props to actually take the chance of pitting and try to work their way through the little bit slower field as they're on older tires and they're on newer tires.
Yeah, I mean, the fresh tires do make a difference, obviously. 26 laps into a race, those tires would definitely make a difference. And you could go from 12th to the lead and then have that buffer of 26 extra laps of fuel in case another caution after a green flag stops or during green flag stops. You'd still be out on track and have 26 laps fresher rubber, or 26 laps of longer rubber. Essentially, so it's kind of a flip of a coin toss. I don't know. We'll see what happens here. We'll see how much ground Byron can make up. He's sitting still 11th.
As we were talking there about the tire strategy and everything, we did have a pass for the lead as Zach Meredith actually got around our current leader of the 24 of Cole Snyder and kind of put a little bit of a distance around him, but the way he passed him was on the outside and got a huge run and got a little bit ahead of him going into a corner, and he just used that high side to his advantage, and now he's doing that high arc to a diamond that I was talking about earlier in the race, and it's actually proven quite well for the number 17 Wonder Bread machine.
This week here, they don't do a choose rule. They don't allow the leader to swap lanes or anything like that from the restart. So Cole had to start on the bottom of Zach had the benefit of being in second and had to start on the outside, which is the preferred lane, in my opinion, for restart, especially after the initial start of the race. So I think that was probably the reason, but I don't know. Yeah, you and I have talked about this before, several different tracks in multiple leagues here. The faster you are at the beginning, I think is worse for you. If they do go long run speed, if you go out too fast and too hard and you really are cranking that wheel to carry the momentum and speed through the corners, it'll hurt you in the long run, and you'll fall and drop like a rock through the field because your tires will be gone by lap 20 or 30, and these guys are already on 40 lap old tires that are up here. Byron Jones, who we were sitting there talking about, that took fresh tires, he's moved up he's up to sixth, so he's almost back up to where he was before he pitted, and he's able to roll the bottom, which is not where these other guys are. They're all running the middle to top because they're on old tires, and he's got free space on that bottom line, and he is putting those new tires to use right now as he's making a position left and right every other lap. He's passing somebody as he's now too wide with another driver. He's too wide with a 2600 piece last season's Truck Series championship or champion.
Yeah, that's Byron Jones is actually trying to put his truck somewhere where nobody else is, get that clean air on the front end of that Chevrolet. Is it looks like he's going to try to get a twofer here with the number 94 and the number 26. Got around the 26. Now he's going to start working on the number 94.
Yeah, those new tires are definitely helping him. As you can see, that top five, they're all on the top line. They might be coming off a little bit down lower than they enter that corner, but he's right on the bottom. Fresh air right in front of him. Only that car right there, the 22 of Josh Arnold, is actually dipping down in front of him a little bit off the corners. But the rest of them are all staying middle of the track, which is leaving the whole bottom open to him to just, go full speed. Now, he's not able to slide up the track and do that diamond effect that we were talking about before, or diamond strategy that we were talking about. So where he's got to let off the pedal a little bit more than he probably would like to if nobody was to his outside, but he is making that bottom work right now, and he gets in the back of Josh Arnold.
22. Good save by the number 22 of Josh Arnold.
Incredible save.
Yeah, that was really incredible, as it looks like Byron Jones lost those 2 positions that he gained, but with those fresh tires, he should be able to get back up to the number 22, get around him cleanly, and start working on the 94 and 26.
Yeah, 22 is not somebody I want to tangle with, so I'm sure Byron didn't mean to, and now it could have been that he was maybe saying, hey, I'm on fresher tires and you're blocking my lane. The 2 guys in front of the 22 are friends of his, so I don't know if maybe that's what the 44 is, trying to be aggressive about, or if he's just saying, hey, I'm on fresh tires, or if it was just an accident that he just caught Josh in the wrong spot, or Josh let off in the spot that Byron wasn't thinking he was going to, but that was a huge save by the 22. That's a master save. I talk about Josh every single race, it seems like, how I just think he's an all-around driver. I've noticed him getting better and better at different tracks that he normally, typically, when we were on the Xbox side, wasn't, the greatest. Now we're over in iRacing, and he has just gotten better and better and better. He was always that traditional super speedway, a few mile and a half, 2 mile tracks like Michigan, Chicagoland, things like that. He was fast at, but the other,
it's the 74's in the one.
Ooh, the 74 is
94.
Oh, 94. Okay, sorry. That's James.
That's going to be another thing you're going to have to watch is, as the tires get a little bit older, running that high line won't be to your benefit, as that wall can come out and grab you. I've done it a lot of times.
Earlier each time you go through that corner.
Yeah, me personally, I do not like running the high side just because of that happening every time I do it. So I try to stay away from that wall as much as I possibly can, especially with with our tire strategy.
He's coming out of turn 3.
Oh, that's
spinning and
looks
wrecking
like
across the front. Brian McCall.
That'll bring out our second caution. Is there 3 wide going here? Oh, that's his hard, heavy hit for the number 10. But
yeah, we'll take a look at it here as I pull it up. You got the 10 in the white and black Chevrolet paint scheme there. As he goes through the corner, you're going to see him. He touches, almost scrapes the wall. He's tucked in behind the 79 Hooters truck there, the black and the orange. And he goes into the next corner. He's a little lower than the 79. Just comes out of that corner. Oh, getting a lap early. So he's trying to work that top line, but the 79's there, and this is where I was talking about late in a run. When you get single filed like this, you gotta make your passes at the right time. And just as he went through the corner, the 71 of Poplar's in the bottom, comes up off the apron just a little bit and touches the 10, spins him around, and the 10 gets some major damage to the front end and rear And then another truck right there just came through and got a little bit of damage on the outside wall. And it looks like Nate Lehman might have been involved in that also. And that could have been who I saw come past on the right side there. I'm trying to pull him up now. So Nate Lehman right here. So the 99 was involved in that. Ooh, 14 just got a little damage somehow. Not sure how we got damaged, but anyways, back to live here as we're under caution now. 57 laps into the race. You're probably going to see the rest of the field that did not pit early on around lap 25 come down, and it looks like only a handful of guys, including Byron Jones, who did pit early on. He is now going to assume the leader, but he's going to be worse off than the guys that we saw earlier because he's on 35 lap old tires and they were on 25 lap old tires when we went back green. So Byron's going to have his hands full with the entire field almost on fresh tires behind him, Dylan.
Oh yeah, for sure. In the way that if I was in Byron Jones' shoes as of right now, you know, me personally, I have the mindset of, okay, this race can go one of two ways: a caution fest or green the whole way. My mind, I always go, okay, it's gonna go green the whole way. So right from the first lap of the race to the last, I will be trying to save the most tires I possibly can. Same with fuel. I mean, I'm not sure if fuel would possibly come into it, but with Byron already burning a set that early, you know he's thinking, okay, I have 35 lap old tires, then the rest of the field behind me. It's time I just calm down, take a little chill pill, and if they get a run on me, I'm just gonna let them go and fight to live another day.
Byron, you got a copy, buddy. This is Swats and Dylan up in the booth.
Yeah, I got you, Swats. What's going on?
All right, bud. It's 1 to green, so we're not going to talk your ear off too much, but we were just wondering what was your decision to stay out there and not come down and get fresh tires with everybody else, knowing that you did come down earlier and worked your way right back up to the front?
Just the tire limit set. We have 4 sets, so I got to be smart to even them out just a little bit. I can probably get 40 on every set, but I mean, those guys were fast even without taking the tires, so hopefully they may be able to balance out. Right now, I'm just crossing my fingers, praying that I can at least stay on the lead lap, at least until a caution or something else rolls around.
All right, well, we'll send you back down to Patriot Esports. Good luck, and go green.
Looked like Byron Jones spun his tires a little bit.
That's the worry with those old tires.
Yeah, got the 24 got around him, but he's actually staying alongside of him. Still using that inside line, as it looks like the number 22, Josh Arnold's going to challenge him on his outside. This might be the point, as what I was saying earlier, is maybe he's just going to let these guys go around and not battle with them and let them get ahead and push their tires up and let the tires even out.
Yeah, that's the problem with him starting there and spinning his tires. That whole inside line did not go. That outside line went right on by Byron as they continue to go by him, using those fresh tires on the outside, carrying the momentum. Now he's down at the bottom, and we were talking about late in a run on the top line, you got to let off early so that you don't slide up in the wall. Now, in a late run, when you're running the bottom like that, you got to hope that you don't slide up and hit somebody that's in that high line because your tires are old.
Yeah, and now I think about it, that strategy that Byron Jones is playing could play in favor for him, as, you know, you take the short pit, and like he said in his little in-race interview, you know, make him go 40 laps on a set of tires, see what he can do, see what his tire management is after a really long run, and go off of your tire management, see where you can pick up more speed, see where you got to back it off a little bit more, as he's just getting freight trained on the inside here.
Yeah, the problem for him is that he's stuck on that bottom line. He's trying to squeeze up in front right now, but he slid from first all the way back to 8th or 9th. So that's the problem, is once you're on those old tires, you're on that bottom line, and everybody else on fresh tires with momentum carrying around that outside line, it's hard to get up over that top line on old tires and try to, you know, carry the momentum, because these guys, even when you do squeeze up in, like he's having right now, he's got guys all over his back bumper that are either going to, push him into the corner, which is going to have him let off, and they can go to the bottom. Um, at this point, it looks like they shoved him right back down to the bottom, and he's going to get pushed by 3 more trucks. So he could fall all the way back to 12th, 13th at this point, and that's not, I don't think, what he was hoping for.
Yeah, and it all came down to that restart that he had on the inside of the front row. Spinning his tires a little bit, but he's only got one more track to get around, and it looks like that'll be Pacey Wygant, as Pacey's going to look to pass him here, and maybe Byron Jones will just chill and just let his tires cool back, or let his tires cool down a little bit as he keeps running the inside line. But I wonder now, since he's got clean air, if he runs it outside, as he dives right back down the inside middle-ish lane. But I think that's where the light's running, so we're going to see the number 44 stay on the inside as he moves up to it.
But them running 50 laps, essentially, they ran, 25, and then another 25, 30 green right there with that middle section around 25, 26 laps as a caution. I would have probably said screw it and came down and grabbed a set of tires. I know it's probably not the best strategy, but he worked his way back up to the front. He was in the top 4 there. You kind of made your bed with your sets of tires. I would have probably grabbed the set and then maybe try to stay out a little longer than everybody else. Because at this point, if it goes green, he's going to have to pit soon, or sooner than everybody else. He's on lap 52 right now in this set. And fuel. Everybody else is on 18, so he's going to have to run another, 35 laps, or he's going to be 35 laps short compared to everybody else.
Yeah, that's and you'll notice he'll be the only one down pit road, so he's going to possibly lose a lap or even 2, as they're making 15-second pit stops here, or lap times, I should say. Excuse me.
Yeah,
you got
as much
30
time
mile
as it
an
takes
hour
to go in there and come out with a 15-second pit stop, you're looking at 2 to 4 laps easily.
So all I can say, I'm believing Byron Jones is just banking on a caution just to save him from going a couple laps down and trying to work his butt off to get those laps back. It looks like Pacey has hit the wall maybe once. He kind of backed his pace off a little bit, keeping his nose to tail with the number 44, but it looks like the 16 is going to try to make a run on Byron Jones.
Back out front, Cole Snyder is leading this thing. He took the lead from Zach Meredith, who's actually back in 7th. Not sure what happened to Zach there, but he's 4 laps down. Braden Holt also looks like he's out of the race, sitting with 15 laps down. Ryan McCall out in that 10, 22 laps down. Jeff Jones, which is Byron's dad. So big shout out to the Father's Day. Byron getting to race with his dad on Father's Day is probably a huge thing. So I don't know if that's playing into maybe some of his strategy or decisions, trying to go out here and win the race with his dad in the race as well. But huge shout out to my dad, my grandfather. He became a dad last year. My brother, Shad, who also became a dad this year. My brother-in-law, who's got 2 kids of his own and 2 kids with my sister. Shout out to all those guys. Papa Bear, who I think he said his 6th or 7th kid on the way. Just massive dad there. Papa Bear, obviously, he's everybody's papa here and turned down blood. His kid, who I just saw now in the chat, Mike, what's up? In the chat, rooting on his dad. Not in the race tonight, but still showing up and watching and seeing what his dad can do. Unfortunately, Mike, your dad's had some issues. He is back in 6th, 1 lap down. Still, though, he is the lucky dog recipient if we do have a caution that comes out soon here. But yeah, I don't know how many grandkids Papa Bear has, but with 6 or 7 kids of his own, I'm sure he's got a whole pile of them. That family tree is probably getting real heavy on the limb for him. So hopefully he can make his way back on the lead lap and come home with a finish. But Cole Snyder, Josh Arnold, who I said in the beginning I thought was probably somebody we needed to watch because he's been promoting this race for it seems like probably half the season, talking about this race coming up. Every time we do a super speedway, he runs to the top of the podium. He always talks about Bristol being the next one, or if he goes to Pocono and comes home to the top 3, he always talks about Bristol coming home, coming up, and that being a race that he really wants to come out and win. And he's sitting there in second, so I would not count Josh Arnold out tonight for being a winner. Sam Wade, though, moved up into third from 18, so up 15 positions right now in that 27 machine. Chris McGuire up 6 positions, and 79 machine sitting in fourth. He's a new driver for tonight. Hunter Peach, last year's Truck Series champion, sitting fifth where he started, so he has not made any moves. Andrew Chapman, new driver for tonight, up 11 positions, started 17th, sitting 6th right now, Dylan. And then Jeff Ledner, otherwise known as Mike Honcho himself, up 4 positions from 12th to 8th. Nate Lehman, the points leader that we were talking about earlier that had a lot of damage, did not go a lap down. He is sitting 9th, up 6 positions from 15th, but he was pretty much sitting about 16th, 17th with all that damage that we saw on the first start of the race and the accordion effect that happened. And then Kyle Tom rounds out our top 10, down 2 positions from his starting position, 8th, but still sitting there in the top 10.
Yeah, I've actually been paying attention to the points leader, Nathan Lehman. He has caught the number 37 and is going to try to make his way around, but Nathan is on rails right now. Going to try to see if he can get back up to the top 5 and possibly challenge for the lead if it does stay green. The dude has a fast truck, and he is showing it here early, about midway through the race.
And Mike is out there in the chat. We're talking about his dad, and he said tonight was his night off, but Papa Bear has enough kids and grandkids to make 2 full NASCAR pit crews. So it's definitely a huge amount of kids for Papa Bear. That's got to be a huge task for him. So congratulations on all the kids, grandkids. Oh, Mike Honcho gets a little loose there. Jeff Lednam, getting a little loose coming off the corner as Nate Lehman made that pass for 8th. Lehman, though, I've got to give a huge shout-out props to him. He actually was in my broadcast booth last season for about the first half of the season, and then he finally got iRacing. He pretty much streamed or watched live from my Discord stream and watched the stream on Twitch to be able to sit in the broadcast booth with me because he did not have a computer, did not have iRacing, and then he went and got his computer, got iRacing, got all set up, and about 4 to 5 races left on the season last truck series or last truck season. He joined the league as a racer and really laid down some good laps as just a brand new driver into iRacing. And now this season he's just rolled off win after win in 2 different series with Turn Down for What. So he's deadly in either series, and even to the point where if you look at his truck, it looks like he got smashed in the front, the rear, the side. All sides are damaged. That old quote from Days of Thunder when they were at Bristol when Cole Trickle at the end of the race, and now I forget his name, but John C. Reilly looks at the car and says, "Oh, look at that, the side we don't have to fix." And old Harry Hogg or Robert Duvall kicks it and says, "I don't want you to be spoiled, Buck." But that's what his truck looks like right now. All 3 sides smashed. One side looking clean, no damage to it, but the rest of it looks like a can opener got taken to it. Or he just parked it in between 2 concrete barriers and just backed it up and forward over and over. But he's still really fast, even with that damaged car. There's trucks out here that are completely clean, and he is making passes on them, and he's making faster laps than those guys too. And as of right now, he just ran a 16.36 or 16.001. And the leader ran a 15.788, so he's 2/10 off the leader with a damaged truck. That's pretty incredible to do.
Yeah, that is actually pretty incredible to do. As he got passed by the number 17, going to get passed by the 16, both not for position. Well, the 16 will be for position if the 16 can make the pass, but that 17 came on like a bat out of you know what, and made the clean, easy pass and going to try to get one of his laps back here, but it looks like Nathan's going to try to take his time getting through the track and get through all these lap cars. As he let the 16 by, now it's just going to be, okay, can I just follow in his footsteps, get myself up through the field, and challenge for the lead?
Yeah, Meredith 4 laps down. He's on a little bit fresher tires, only about 8 lap fresher tires or 7 lap fresher tires. So not that much of a difference, but his truck is clean. So if he's able to run those laps that he was running up front as the leader, and he's, the leader right now is running 2 to 3 tenths faster than Lehman is. So if Meredith was still up front, he was able to run those lap times. That's, pretty fast laps to be laying down, 4 laps down. If Zach can get back on the lead lap somehow, we could definitely see him maybe contend for the end of the race tonight. But I'm looking at the rest of the field now. We've got half the field almost a lap down. Up to 11th is 1 lap down. Jeff Ludnam, who we were just watching in that 37, Cole Snyder's ticking off laps here. We're over halfway into this race. 100 laps already completed. That completes 107 already. And we've got half the field a lap down. Enrique Quiones, teammate of the 24 and 22, is the next victim for these guys. And then it is their other teammate, the 14 of Nate Lehman, who's sitting 9th, the points leader. So Josh Arnold is probably really wanting Nate Lehman to struggle tonight, even though it's his teammate, to try to catch up in points, since he sits only about 24 points back. As I pull up the standings again real quick, overlaid. Nate Lehman 444, Josh Arnold 428. So not that much of a gap if Nate Lehman struggles for a race or two, and Arnold really does well by finishing the top 3, leading some laps, getting those bonus points, things like that. He could make up and be right there by the time we get to Charlotte in 2 races.
Yeah, that's going to be another thing. Josh is wanting his teammate to do bad, but he also wants his teammate to be up there. It's a love-hate relationship, especially with racing. You want to see your teammates do good, but you also want to not see your teammates do good. I know that's how I am, especially with my teammates. And, one bad race could help the 22 of Josh Arnold or anybody in this race per se. So always got to keep an eye on what's happening on the track and see exactly how everything goes down, as the top 2 have pulled away from 3rd and 4th. So I believe if it does come down to a tire strategy and a gas strategy, I believe Josh Arnold and Cole Snyder might be able to get it done.
Yeah, and the worst thing that's happened right now for Byron Jones is we look back and check with him. He is now 1 lap down, sitting in 12th place, and he is not the lucky dog recipient. If we had a caution come out right now, that would go to the 37 of Jeff Ludnam. So Byron Jones, it's really not working out for him. Them going 58 laps now on this green flag run has really not helped him. He probably needed them to run about 30 laps and then take a pit stop, but he's getting real close to having to take a green flag stop. So that's going to put him 2 or 3 more laps down, and that's going to put him right about 16th if that's the case. So really not going Byron Jones' way. He really needs a caution to come out. He's now moved up into that lucky dog spot, passing Jeff Ludnam. So he needs a caution now to be able to get that lucky dog and get back on the lead lap, and also get those fresh tires put back on and be the same as everybody else, because he's really struggling 34 laps old tires compared to everybody else.
Yeah, that with that happening and this going a lot of green flag laps, everybody's kind of spreading themselves out, giving each other room, which is always nice to see, as a lot of people just want to run and gun straight to the front. But with these guys, they know how they run against each other. They just want to have green flag laps. And a lot of people don't want to see that, as you said earlier. Byron Jones did not want to see a long green flag laps take place, and that's exactly what happens. Is he's starting to fall back a little bit more. He was up there battling with Nathan Lehman, but he doesn't have quite the speed or the tire grip to keep up with the 14. So now he's getting ready to be under fire from the number 98 of Enrique. So we'll see what the 98 does and see what the 44 does. Maybe he lets him by, or is he going to take the time to battle with him and make him lose more positions?
I'm wondering how many more laps he can wait. He's now on 98 laps for a run. That's a lot of laps on tires and fuel. I don't know what the fuel limit is for these guys. It can't be more than 100, I wouldn't think. That's a lot of laps on fuel, and I believe they run 60% fuel. So if they can run 100 laps on 60% fuel, that would be a lot of laps for that amount of fuel. I would be wondering what the lap count would be if they had 100% fuel at that point. Add another 40%. but he's going to have to pit. Now he's not a lucky dog, so I don't know what he's waiting for at this point. I mean, he's got to pit. There's no way he can continue to stay out here and have more and more guys go a lap down in front of him to where he's not going to get that lucky dog. I know he's probably hoping a caution comes out and he can maybe somehow just work his way back on the lead lap, but if you keep waiting, it's you're either going to run out and then have to pace around to get to the pit road, not underpowered, or you're going to blow a tire. I don't know if I've ever seen it blow a tire on iRacing, so I don't know if it's possible or not.
Oh, it's not fun. I've blown many tires here. Actually, speaking of blown tires, I actually blew a tire at Eldora last Thursday night in the 87 cars, and the car doesn't turn. You know, you can actually hear the truck or car, whichever one you're running. You can actually hear the fenders scraping on the ground as, you know, the front splitter will drag, and you can hear it, and you go to turn left or right, and it's just going to go straight. So that's going to be another big thing, is if you do end up blowing your tires, it looks like Byron Jones is finally going to make his pit stop here. Gets it well down, back down to, I believe, pit road speed is 30 or 35. So going from 130 to 35 or 30 mile an hour, that's a big difference to get slowed down in such a short period of time.
Watch how many laps he goes down. He was already 1 lap down. Now he's 2. He's probably going to wind up right around 4 laps down to this. That's a huge amount of laps to try to overcome. We've already seen Zach Meredith try to overcome it himself, and he's still sitting at 4 laps down. Papa Bear Campbell's now back at 3 laps down. Jeff Ludnam's 5 laps down. He took a pit stop 2 laps ago, so he went from 2 laps down to 5 laps down, so he lost 3. Byron's still sitting at 3, but he's still on pit road. There he just went 4 laps down. Out of turn 3 and 4. Byron's coming off pit road now. He'll probably sit at 4 laps down and have to try to do a full way from Cole's line. That's a lot of laps to overcome.
And now he's got all these people battling for a position in front of him. Now he's got to be kind of smart and patient. You don't want to run over the guy in front of you, but you also don't want to overdrive yourself and get yourself in a position where you wreck the guy in front of you or yourself, and you make a little bit light work on that 4-car battle behind him. Now he's going to start working on the number 71 and try to see if he can claw his way back up into the top 10, possibly with Zach Meredith being 4 laps down. He might be able to get up there as he goes around the outside with the number 71, but with Zach Meredith and Byron Jones both being 4 laps down, those two are the only ones battling for position with themselves. So maybe Byron Jones is thinking, okay, I got fresh rubber, let me catch up to Zach and battle him, get past him, and see what he can do for the leaders.
Yeah, the only good thing for Byron is that Zach Meredith is going to have to pit again. Papa Bear is going to have to pit again. Pacey Wyden's going to have to pit again. So they're all going to go back behind him. And that's where Byron's going to have to make up a few positions. He might be able to get to a top 10, and then if a couple other guys maybe get into a caution or a wreck fest or something like that, where a couple more guys might come back to him, but I don't think he can get back on the lead lap being 4 laps down. That's just a lot of laps to overcome to be back on the lead lap, but he could at least move up to maybe 9th or 10th.
The 16 actually got in the back of the 71 there, battling with the 79. 71 had nowhere to go. The 16 was on the inside of the 79 and gave a little shot to his rear bumper. I actually hopped on board with the number 16 and the 79 as 8 were the closest battle that I've seen.
First through
so
third
I
is
hopped
in
over.
pit road.
Oh,
Cole Snyder, Sam Wade, and Josh Arnold down pit road. So that's going to leave Hunter Peach in the lead right now with Chase McGuire. They all pitted with about 80 laps on their tires. That's kind of surprising because Byron was able to go 100 laps or 102 laps. They pit about 20 laps before he did. So that actually takes away from Byron by short pitting Byron like that. But it's not like they're probably not worried about Byron right now, being that he's 3 or 4 laps down. But if a caution comes out right now, I think they're all screwed.
Yeah. As it looks like the number 79 of Chase McGuire is going to make his entrance into pit road here. He had a little bit of a good battle. Hunter Peach is going in as well. So now you're starting to see where the strategies come into play. Now it is you can make it on 80 laps of tires, as we just seen Byron Jones do it. So now it's the point of, do you want to try to chance it and make that 80 lap stint on your tires, or do you just want to short pit it, make it 40 and 40? Me personally, I'd make it 40 and 40 if a caution were to come out. But if it goes green, I think I'd have to try to make the whole 80 laps.
Yeah, the thing they're going to have to worry about too is the guys who were in the front at first through third. Those three, they pit earlier than everybody else, so they're going to be out on track on fresh rubber, being able to lay down those fast laps of 15 ones, 15 flats, things like that. While guys are out there right now on these old 87 lap old tires are running 15 threes, 15 fours, or sorry, 16 fours, 16 fives. So they're running a second half slower than the fresh tires. So if you let those guys who are out in the lead come down and pit, and you stay out super long, that's a second and a half per lap that they can average better than you to when you do pit. They'll have a huge gap on you. So your hope is you either stay out long and hope for a caution and trap them, or you got to come down pretty close to the same time as them. You can't give them a giant gap between pit stops that they made and you make. Plus, the longer you stay out, the slipperier it's going to get out there on these old tires. As we see Kyle Taub there, who's now the leader, getting loose coming off of turn 2. Truck almost completely sideways.
Yeah, I was actually just getting ready to point that out. He is under pressure from the number 94. It also looks like the 26 is right there with him. The 26 is Hunter Peach. It does have fresh tires, so he's going to look to find his way around the leader, get one lap back, and try to put himself in a position to where if a caution does come out, he can try to get the lucky dog. As 16 got a little bit loose, was able to save it. The 26 and 27 got around him, but he's still going to try to hold that high side as the 94 closed in the gap just a little bit more. And it looks like the 37 is not battling with position for him, so you don't have to worry about the 37 taking away a position. But he is a lap down he is lap down traffic, so maybe since he's on fresher tires, just let him go by and see what you can do on your longer extended tires.
Yeah, the guys that just went by him, the 26 and 27, they were both 2 laps down at that time, so now they're 1 lap down. So they've got to make up a whole nother lap as the 94 is finally coming down for his pit stop with 50 laps to go. Kyle Taub's still out there, but he's got the 24, who was the previous leader before the green flag stop started, and he's now unlapped himself. So now he's back on the lead lap, sitting in 5th, but he's a whole lap behind Kyle Taub. And we've seen when guys come down on green flag stops, they lose right around 2 laps. So being that Cole is just now past them, you either pit now and hope that you come out 1 lap down, or you just continue to stay out and hope you trap everybody else, or you're stuck. So he's kind of made his bet. He's got 48 laps to go. I think he's kind of stuck with his decision. He's probably going to hope he can run it as long as Byron did, and either run it out and hope a caution comes out here and try to stay in the top 10 on the lead lap and trap everybody else down. That's got to be the only play that he's got left.
Yeah, at this point, you don't want to take too much time staying out of pit road, as it's bitten me in the butt here recently. The leaders pit, take their time and down pit road, and I stayed out trying to get as much fuel and as much tire wear as I possibly can, and that kind of plays in factor of coming out first or coming out in 5th. If you see everybody else's pit, every time you're out there another lap, you're losing a second or a second and a half to the people that actually did pit with fresh tires. So this could hurt the 16 in the long run, but he's going to try to, I'm thinking he's going to try to stay out as long as he possibly can, like Byron Jones did. So we might see that 16 not pit until hopefully not too long. I'm not sure exactly when he went down pit road last, but so far
100 laps. The 98 and the 14, all 3 are on 101 for a lap count.
Oh, yeah. So you're looking.
They've got to pit within the next 5-10 laps.
Yeah, If I mean, fresh tires are going to be what makes or breaks your race here. Everybody else has fresh tires. But the man that's gonna pressure you a lot will be the number 22, as he got around the number 79. Gonna start working on the 99 once he gets up there. But it looks like the 98 is actually gonna go into pit lane here and take some fresh rubber.
Yeah, we saw Byron run 102 laps. He just got 2 laps back. He's now still 1 lap down, but he's moved up to about 9th place. So this is helping him, but I really think unless he can get himself unlapped and a caution come out, he's really not going to have a shot at the win here. But Kyle Taub, obviously, I don't think is going to have a shot either. Unless a caution comes out in the next lap or two before he pits, I don't think he's going to have a shot. But Sam Wade's going to unlap himself. That's going to put the top 5 as the only cars on the lead lap, with Kyle Taub still having to pit. So you're only probably going to have 4 cars on the lead lap once he does come down pit road. Never mind, Hunter Peach just unlapped himself, so that puts 6 cars with 5 of them on fresh tires.
And the points leader, Nathan Lehman, actually went into pit road. He went down 1 lap, and Kyle Taub now taking his pit stop here. So we're going to see how many laps he does lose going down pit road this late, as Josh Arnold will be able to correction. The 24 Full Snyder is going to retake the lead here, and it will be the 22 in P number 2.
Yeah, the problem with this pit road is you can enter the first pit lane, but you have to coast all the way through it, all the way through turns, and then into the next available lane, which is the front stretch pit road. With only having 20 cars in the field, everybody is pitting on one side of the track. And it doesn't matter that you're having to pit on the front stretch. You can't enter off of turn 3 and 4. You've got to enter off of turn 2 and go down the whole backstretch pit road, go around turns 3 and 4, and then into the front stretch pit road.
Oh, that's going to kill a lot of time. Yeah, with that,
if you could do the new way where you could pit on your side. So if you are on the front stretch, you can pit in 3 and 4. If you're on the back stretch, you can pit 1 and 2. But you can't do that.
Yeah, that is what I do kind of like about iRacing, especially when you go to Bristol. You can choose if you want dual pit road or single pit road. And normally, you know, the leagues that I've done, they do single just because car counts aren't too big. But if you do have more than, I believe you can hold 20, 21 cars on one side.
20 to 24, I think.
Yeah, so if you get more than 24 people, obviously you got to use both sides of pit road. But with 20, that's going to make or break a race. You gotta,
long way around
yeah,
there, especially at 30 mile an hour.
That's a long way. Yeah, 30 mile an hour against 130. You got a 100 mile an hour difference, so you're going to try to get in and out as quickly as possible. As the 16th making his way around the number 27, he's doing the exact same line that Byron Jones was doing, running the inside. Going to see how many spots he can make up before he burns out the tires.
Yeah, he's trying to work it back. He's sitting 9th, but he's 2 laps down. He's really only got Andrew Chapman and James in the 94 to try to get more position, unless he can get a lap back, and then he'll have 2 more with Byron Jones and Chase McGuire. But I mean, Byron, he's up to 6th, and I mean that's a pretty good recovery for him with taking tires early and then not taking tires. At this point, with them only using him using 3 sets, unless a caution comes out, he's going to go home with that 4th set in the pit box, which you never want to go home with tires sitting in the pit box. But
Byron Jones actually just got lapped for lap number 2. He's going to get trained on the outside by the 17, 94, and number 24. And here comes the number 14 of Nathan Lehman. So that's going to be another thing. I wonder if Byron Jones used up his tires after the last pit stop. And he's going to get passed again by, it looks like, the number 99? Yes, the number 99 of it. That will be Andrew Chapman.
I don't know. It looks like he's running a little slower than everybody else, but he's only on 7 lap older tires than the leader. So I don't know if it's tires, because he ran 100 and something laps on those tires originally. So we got a caution out on track.
The caution?
Now this is the question: what happens with James and Andrew Chapman, who are both? Oh, Chapman just went a lap down, or went 2 laps down, so he's not going to be the lucky dog.
Oh.
But let's go and find this one, as it looks like Byron Jones might have been involved in this one. Nope, Jeff Jones, so that would be his dad. So we'll go and take a look at this one.
Jeff Jones and Hunter Peach.
All right, so we're riding along with the 95 of Jeff Jones, who just came back out on track, really. He was in pit road for 119 laps. So we'll take a look here as we pull him up, go into replay mode, and see what happens. Comes out of turn 4. Looks like he's run a little slower in that Blue Moon paint scheme. Has the 54 go by him. He's got the 99 coming up on behind him. He's running the middle lane. 99 tries to go low. Makes the pass, slides up. 95 still on the top lane. Next turn, still in the top lane. Not seeing anybody near him. All right, there's the 14. Goes flying by on the inside like he's standing still. Next corner, clean. 17 going flying by on the inside like the 95 was tied to a stump. Next corner, he's still good. Where's this crash at?
Yeah, he
the front stretch.
I'm actually looking at it here. He's by himself, running the middle, but the 16 on fresher tires, he gets into the wall and just hits it right in front of the 26 of Hunter Peach. So not a good start to Hunter Peach's last couple, like 60, 70 laps, give or take. Oh, actually 30 laps. Again, you know, no fast repair, so that's going to hurt the number 26, but it's also going to hurt the number, I believe it was 95 of Jeff Jones.
Yeah, and Jeff was already 119 laps down, so really wasn't going to hurt him too much. But
Yeah.
Just out here logging laps, trying to complete. I mean, he was about to make up a position on Ryan McCall, but I must have been way further than this caution happened because I am not finding it. Nope, there it is. As soon as I said that. All right, so let me back it up here. So 95 is coming out of turn 4, bounces it off the outside wall, slides right in front of the 26, who is not anticipating that at all. Gets into the damage of the 26. 95 goes to pit road. 26 is going to have some big old front end damage. Like you said, no fast repair tonight, so that's going to be a huge hit to Hunter Peach, who's trying to make up some points, sitting in, I believe, 4th in the points. So that's going to be a big hit to him with Cole Snyder, Josh Arnold, all having good nights. But Hunter's still sitting in 4th right now in the race. Luckily for him, there's only 6 drivers on the lead lap. So even if he has to go down pit road and fix his car for a little bit, I don't think he will, based on the damage that he's got. It's not super significant, but I mean, it could maybe play an in. But I mean, we've seen Nate Lehman be super fast as well. So there must be an issue with the restart here, because there's lap down cars starting up here at the front.
Yeah, and taking a look here at Hunter Peach's truck, he looks like he spun the tires a little bit, but he might be under power as he's letting a lot of people trade him on the outside. But a backup at front here, Cole Snyder and Josh Arnold are the 2 class of the field. The 24 running the high side with the 22 on the inside. We're going to see what Josh can do as he's trying to mirror exactly what he's doing. Kind of like a Kyle Larson, Alex Bowman type thing. You know, okay, he's running the outside here, but he's also running the inside here. Kind of see if you can force the 24 to go to the inside on one corner and you fake him out and go out to the outside.
And these two are teammates. They are battling for position, and they are battling for position in the points. Cole sitting in 3rd position, Josh Arnold sitting in 2nd position in the points. Both of them trying to get as many points as they can on Nate Lehman, who's sitting back in 9th right now, and has not led a lap. So he's not going to get that bonus point. But Josh Arnold, I don't believe, has led a lap either, unless he led a lap before the caution or before the green flag stops happened, if he stayed out. But I don't think he stayed out past Cole Snyder. But Cole Snyder's probably going to get the most laps led tonight bonus point as well. And if he gets the win, he gets 3 bonus points for the win. So This is going to be huge for Cole Snyder to move back up into this as well. Unfortunately for both of them, with Nate Lehman still rocking in the top 10, they're not going to gain as much as they could have if Nate would have finished back there around 15th, 16th, where he was when he initially got that damage. But he is 1 lap down, so is Kyle Taub, both, along with Andrew Chapman and Byron Jones. Byron's now sitting in 10th. And then we have Enrique Quiones sitting 3 laps down, Jeff Ludham 3 laps down, Zach Meredith 4 laps down, Pacey Wygent 4 laps down, Papa Bear Campbell 5 laps down, and then the list goes way up in lap down laps.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at a pretty good battle here between the number 94 of James and the 99 of Andrew Chapman. As it looks like the 94 got around the number 99, but it looks like the number 10 or 01, is it 10 or 01? The 10 of Ryan McCall, he's battling out with the number, well actually he just got around the number 99, as the 71's going to try to follow through on the number 99 and see what they can do, but the 94 getting around him, going to try to pull away from the number 10. Again, it's not for position, as the number 94 is trying to catch up to the number 79 here. Going to see if he can get a top 3, or actually try and battle with him for position number 4.
Yeah, and Cole Snyder, I mean, he's pulled away from Josh Arnold. They're both on fresh tires. Same with Sam Wade, who's now on the back bumper of Josh Arnold, but Cole Snyder has checked out with less than 10 laps to go, 8 laps to go now. This is pretty much Cole's to lose. All he's got to do is sit and manage the gap that he's got and be aware of the lap down cars coming up in front of him. That next lap down car would be Mike Papa Bear Campbell, I believe, or it's Byron Jones, actually. One of the two. But, yeah, Josh is really battling with Sam Wade. Sam's really trying to get by Josh. I don't know if Sam's a little bit faster or what's going on with Josh Arnold's truck, but he was right there with Cole Snyder, and then all of a sudden Cole just hit the nitro button and just disappeared on the other two there, and just stretched his lead out to about a second and a half over these two. So now it's really a battle for second and third, and then really it's just a battle for third, fourth, and fifth. And then you've got lap down situations all over the place between different guys where it's not even for position. So Cole's probably going to run away with this one unless we see a caution come out with 5 to go, or 4 to go now. Laps are just taking off here. It was a pretty quick race for 200 laps. We're sitting at around an hour and 15 minutes to complete 200 laps at Bristol. Really fast with only 3 cautions tonight. So that's a very good thing at Bristol. Usually short tracks, you see a lot of cautions coming out. Martinsville, Richmond. I've seen 15, I've seen 25, I've seen all kinds of different variations of cautions, but 3 is pretty good for a 20 car field. Now 2 laps to go, Dylan.
Yeah, 2 laps to go here in this 200 lap race, and just like you said earlier, 3 cautions for 200 laps. That sounds like a top split iRacing official race. You get the really good guys, but these guys actually threw down these 200 laps. They just took the white flag. The 24 of Cole Snyder kind of ran away with it here as of in the beginning of the race and of late, as the 24 comes off.
Going to bring it home. He's going to take that victory lap. He's getting a checkered flag. Second place is going to be Josh Arnold. Third is going to go to Sam Wade. So those top three will be in the booth tonight for interviews. Chase McGuire bringing it home 4th. James, I don't want to mess it up, but I know you sent me a message and I can't find it. Mensch, my apologies. I'll get it right here at some point. Brings it home 5th. Hunter Peach with that damage still able to bring it home 6th. Kyle Taub 7th. Nate Lehman points leader 8th. Byron Jones moves up to 9th, and Enrique Quiones comes home in the top 10 spot. Dylan, this was a pretty uneventful but eventful race. Like, we saw passing happening with the restarts and things like that. We saw a lot of green flag runs. That's what I like to see. This league here, it's a very underrated league, and not a lot of people know about this league. I mean, we try to promote as much as possible for this league, but these guys, last season they went on like a 7-race streak of 0 cautions between mile and a half, super speedway, road course, short track. They were all over the place with 7 straight races of 0 cautions. So these guys are very, very clean. You can see the racing's very hard. It's very tough. A lot of skill from top to bottom. It doesn't vary in a whole lot between the top 10. top 15. Those guys are pretty similar in speed, pace, skill, all of the above. Um, and there's a lot of different winners. So um, it's a very, very good league. I wish a lot of people would pay attention more and maybe want to join. I know they're recruiting right now for their next gen series that will start up here on Tuesday nights. Their Xfinity series is done with, and they're, I believe, going to carry on the truck series on Sunday night still, as was tonight. But Zach Meredith burning them down on pit road, doing the Polish reverse lap there at a little faster speed than it was done in real life. But we'll get those three up into the booth, Dylan. I don't know what your takeaway from these guys with only three cautions tonight, like you were saying. It's kind of like a upper level split. It's pretty incredible to only see 3 laps at a short track like this for 200 laps.
Oh yeah, especially the 3 wide racing. You've seen it pretty much all night. Sometimes it didn't work, but other times it did. Bristol's a place where you can't really go 3 wide, but these guys made it work, and like you said, these guys are a very good group of guys that race together, run very clean. I've had the privilege of actually getting to watch these guys tackle the iRacing Super Speedway and here tonight, and it honestly, Swats, it's making me want to join next week instead of being in the booth, being down there on track with all these guys. You know me, I'm a pretty good, clean, fast racer, and yeah, if it wasn't so close to being towards the end of the season, I'd jump in and run with them. But with it being this close, I don't want to jeopardize anybody's chances.
Well, we'll definitely jump into intermission right now and bring those top 3 up into the booth. Big shout out to these 3, just incredible drivers tonight. Very clean. The whole league itself, pretty much the top 15 was pretty clean trucks. Even Nate Lehman with damage from the get-go on the front bumper, back bumper, and right side. I guess one side he doesn't have to fix for Harry Hogg, but um, still an incredible comeback for him to come back to 8th. That's fantastic. I mean, he's been on fire, so coming back to 8th. But overall, I mean, just a great, clean, you know, short track, 3 cautions. I can't say too much about it or much more about it. We'll jump to intermission. We'll be right back and get those top 3 up in the booth and hear from those guys on their experience for tonight's Bristol race. For Turn Down for What Truck Series, next week we'll head to Michigan. So stay tuned for that information. All right, we're back in Burnout Lane here for Turn Down for What. Top 3 are coming up into the booth. We got 3rd place tonight in that 27 machine, Sam Wade. Sam Wade, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
All right, bud, you come out of nowhere. I didn't even know you were in the field tonight. I wasn't really paying attention to the complete field. Not saying I wouldn't have noticed you, but all of a sudden I just noticed you right there about midway through, working your way through the field. You were sitting up in 3rd. You started the race in 18th, which is probably why I didn't notice you until you worked your way up to the front after a caution came out, and then we had the green flag stops and everything. But, dude, you were on rails tonight, flying up through the field, had a really clean truck. Your truck looked like, it could have been back at the start of the race, still super clean. Didn't look like you'd ever touched a wall. I don't know if you did or not, but I didn't see any paint damage or any fenders bent in. So Bristol, that short track feeling of bumping and banging, bump and run, all that kind of stuff can happen. And you come home with a clean truck, you bring it home 3rd. Great finish for you. Give us an overview of what you felt throughout the race, and then how you were able to bring it home 3rd.
Yeah, I'm decided to come tonight. Been taking a while off. Figured I'd come in, get some experience, and no, it was a fun race. That's probably the cleanest Bristol race I've ever done. And yeah, the car was or the truck was nice. I hit the wall a couple of times, but didn't hit any the other trucks out there, which was kind of my goal. I was just trying to make the field up, and so I started at the back because I didn't feel like qualifying. Figured last two, see where I could get to, and yeah, I think just being able to avoid all the chaos throughout the field and keep her clean is kind of what put me in position. And all of a sudden, I was sitting there in the top five and on the lead lap and in there with the shout. So I'm happy with how it went.
Definitely congratulations on that. Dylan, got any questions for our third place finisher, Sam Wade in the 27?
Coming from the back, like you said, was that kind of your strategy going into these next three races, or are you going to try to give these guys a little bit of competition going in and actually qualifying?
Uh, mm, I don't know. We'll see. Sometimes depends on the track really and how I'm feeling in practice. I didn't get that many laps on the track and it was kind of a last minute decision. So I just figured, not getting anyone's way. Didn't know what type my pace was, but no, the pace was good tonight. Felt good. Just have to see going forward. Yeah.
All
All
right,
right.
Sam, you got any shout outs for you, buddy?
Yeah. Shout out the team, CCR. Good result for everyone. Yeah, pretty much that's it.
All right. Well, you're bringing home third tonight. We go to Michigan next week. I know you said you're, been taking a break and it was a last minute decision. Michigan's always a fun track. I feel like so. Hopefully, we'll see you out on track there. Maybe you can bring home another podium, or at least maybe move up a position or two and bring home a win.
Yes, sir. Looking forward to it.
All right. Good luck on the rest of your weekend. Enjoy the rest of tonight's Father's Day night, and we'll catch you later.
Thank you.
All right, we're moving into second place, and that would be the one and only 22 machine of Josh Arnold. Josh, you got a copy?
Dude, how you doing?
I'm doing perfect on this Father's Day, enjoying the day and relaxing and doing this race tonight. Really love watching you guys run around this track. I was telling Dylan, towards the end of this race or right after the race ended, this was one of the cleanest Bristol races I've seen. He even made the comment of, this is like a top tier uh, what'd you call it?
Official.
Yeah, official race.
Official
Um,
race. Yes, sir.
with you guys running so clean, I mean, you go to short tracks like Martinsville, Richmond, Bristol. We usually see, upwards of 10 cautions, but here it turned down for what you guys are usually really clean. I was telling Dylan about last year's streak of like 6 or 7 races straight of 0 cautions, and you guys come out tonight and have 3, and they weren't that bad, but you were really fast, really on rails. You and the rest of your team and a few others there that you guys were just flying. I really thought you were going to bring this one home. I know we've talked in previous races about super speedways were usually your thing, and I don't want to keep maybe pumping air into your head or anything, but I really think of all the guys that I've known between you and all of Turn Down for What and all the other guys from Xbox, I really feel like you've become that overall driver. You're not just known for those super speedways anymore. I see you at the road courses. I see you at the short tracks, the mile and a halfs, the other tracks like this. And you mentioned multiple times throughout the broadcast from past races that Bristol was a track that you were really looking forward to. You're bringing home second. So um, give us an overall of what you felt throughout the race and what you could have done maybe to get past your teammate there of Cole Snyder to get that win at Bristol.
I mean, really, to me, the truck just didn't feel the same as it did last year when, I mean, I was just so dominant last year, once I really stole it back from Shad with pit strategy. But really, you know, um, I don't know. The truck just didn't feel right. It didn't have a lot of short run speed, as you could tell in that last, 18, 20 lap dash that we had. But long run speed, it was really really there. The truck started to come in once we got maybe around 35, 40 laps into a run. I got my feeling of what I was looking for, and that coincided with me and Cole really gapping the rest of the field when we had the longest run there in the middle. I think we were up to like 6 seconds over Pete, no, 12 or something over Sam and Peach there after the pit stops. So, we had really distanced ourselves during that run, and I thought it was going to be a finish there without that caution because I had knocked it down from like 6 to 4 seconds back, and still with about 25 to go. And like I said, that's when my truck was really starting to come in, and just was hoping to get a chance to run him back down. But he's a teammate, so I can't be upset that I lost, especially when we go 1-2, and then we also had Q and Griff come back from some early, and they got some plenty of laps inside the top 10 there. So and Sam's a friend, and a lot of other people that were out there today. But no, I mean, I just feel like Cole really he legit should have won. He got the lead there on that restart before the long green, and me and him just took off, and I couldn't get by him. He actually started to gap me there for a little bit, and then I'd pull him back in, and it was just really fun to go out with Cole. Yeah, I wanted to win because my birthday's tomorrow, but Cole got to win on Father's Day, and I know that's super special to him. So I'm very excited for the team effort because you could tell that I think Cole maybe saw what I was doing last year, and even there he was trying to run my line, so I couldn't get that big run on him that I usually get on a lot of people. So, but I just learned it from Joey Logano. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't know what I could have done different to beat Cole. It feels like we had the same truck. I mean, being team, running almost the same setup and stuff like that. Not that it's fixed, but I still feel like, I don't know if there was anything I could have done different. I stayed out there right after he pitted to get a lap, a couple of laps led, so I could get those points because I'm in the championship battle, and I did all that work just to finish second and gain like 5 points on the leader. So, I feel like I didn't really accomplish what I really came in to Bristol because, I mean, the next three races, mile and a half, 2 mile tracks, and there's going to be a lot of draft, a lot of superheroes on those new tires that could disrupt what I'm doing. I'm still kicking myself from Talladega. That humongous wreck on the backstretch, I made it through only to get taken out by um, uh, something that shouldn't have happened. But no, so far this season has been a fantastic season, so I'm not going to take anything away from it.
Well, I mean, I want to give you a big shout out for your birthday. I know it's the 25th birthday. Hint, hint, wink, wink. But
Yeah.
um, huge congratulations on your birthday, and I hope you have a great birthday tomorrow. I know winning that race tonight would have been icing or a cherry on top to get that win. I know Cole had a win early on in the season, I believe, on his birthday. So um, it would have been pretty cool. But I mean, bringing it home second, like you said, teammates, all four of you in the top four. You're chasing your teammate in the points, and you have your teammate chasing you for second place in the points with Cole being there. I really, like I said, I really thought this was your race to win. But Cole, like you said, was just he did everything he needed to do. He took away your line. He ran a really fast race. You guys had pretty identical lap times most of the time. Um, you did work your way back. We noticed it was about a second and a half, 2 seconds there towards the end of the race, and you worked it back to about 1.2. So I think your truck would have came on if we would have had a longer run there, but that caution came out with 40 to go or whatever it was, or 35 to go. But I mean, still second place with these guys on here. There's so many different drivers that could come out here and get a win, and yeah, it's a teammate that wins. But I know you probably really wanted to get this win with Michigan coming next week. Like you said, draft track, kind of a super speedway. You've been known in the past as a super speedway driver. I'm not going to put it past you for next week, and then we go to Charlotte. Then we round out the season with the delayed race that we had from a few weeks ago that we moved to the end with Auto Club. So you still got that chance. I know, like you said, you're kind of down because you worked your butt off tonight to bring it home second and only gained, a few points on your teammate Nate Lehman, who somehow brought it all the way back to eighth.
For real.
with damage to the front and back and side from the start of the race. So somehow he was able to do that. I think you're just gonna have to take him out at some point, and end his night so that you guys can make up the points. But I know you guys are a tight knit group there in the team. But yeah, I mean, huge congratulations and huge shout out for your birthday tomorrow. Dylan, you got any questions for this 22 hot rod? I gotta say also, I love the paint scheme tonight. I love the black and the white mixture with the auburn on the hood. Just
Jamie
love that.
McMurray throwback from when
Okay.
he won at Talladega,
I
which
love the paint scheme.
also
So
this time last year, June 22nd, was that gas mileage Talladega race. So it was kind of like an anniversary, from that as well. So, but no, just wasn't in the cards, and we'll go there next week.
all right. Well, Dylan, you got any questions for our second place finisher, Josh Arnold, in that 22 machine? It was a hot rod tonight. You got any questions for him?
Yeah, actually, first off, happy early birthday as you get to celebrate it tomorrow. But with the second
Appreciate it.
place finish tonight, how does that momentum going to go forward towards the last three races on the schedule?
Well, I mean, here's the conundrum. Tonight I was chasing my teammate, and even if I would have got to him, I can't put a bumper to a teammate.
Oh, you
And
can.
then
Sure
and
you
then
can.
Oh, you can.
and
Come
then Griff, the points leader, is a teammate. So it's not. I mean, it's like I'm in a definite conundrum. I have to outrun them, but we're gonna have the
Come on.
same
I've
daggum
watched Denny
equipment,
Hamlin wreck
out
both
there.
Joe
So
Gibbs cars. Come on.
well, if it comes down to Auto Club last lap and Griff needs to lose like 10 points, maybe. But I probably won't do that anyway. So, but yeah, I'm in a conundrum, bro. I really am. Just because I'm chasing teammates here, so it's kind of tough to be upset if one of them wins it,
Come
So
on, I've heard from years from real NASCAR drivers. Last lap, all bets are off. No teammates. Come on.
Gloves come off, yeah. Gloves come off on that last lap. I've done it, so
well, it's just the fact that if they would have done it to me in the past, I can't start that. I can't start that trend of us being because me and Cole seem to be always within one or two spots of each other every single race. So I'm gonna have to race it. I can't do that. So
Well, I'm gonna
can't
throw
do it.
words in Cole's
Griff
mouth and
was
say he would dump you. So
I really think Griff would have been up there if he wouldn't have got some damage. I don't know what happened, but like I tell him, like I tell everybody, qualifying is important because what happens in the back compared to the top five. So that's why you mess up or something and you start 14th, and that's the danger that you put yourself with that. So glad I started up front and third with some friends around me. So
well, that's gonna wrap for second place tonight with Josh Arnold, bringing it home second place. Gained a few points, not too many, but gained a few. It's a good start with 3 races to go after this. Congratulations on second place and happy early birthday. In about an hour and 7 minutes, it'll be your birthday. So I know, like I said, the 25th birthday, or my dad always says he's 28 still, even though I'm older than what he says he is for his birthday every year. But definitely congratulations on that. And we'll catch you probably, I guess, Tuesday or something for the next gen series, maybe, or can always catch you on Friday nights for the NOR that you're in charge of. Great league to go out and watch. These guys, they take it from here and they go right over there, and just as clean, just as fast, and it's both leagues are very, very competitive with these guys. It's a lot of the same guys, so you'll see a lot of clean racing in both leagues. But all right, Dylan. Oh, no problem, buddy. All right, Dylan, we are going to go to our first placeman. I'm just gonna send us on our way. I'm just playing Cole. Bringing it home first tonight, a third win of the season. You bring it in a little bit closer to your other 2 teammates that you're chasing. I'm sure you're going to get the bonus points for most laps led. You got the bonus point for the lap led. You got the win bonus points. You collected everything you could have besides the pole point, which you were just barely off on. So, Cole, it was an incredible race to watch between you guys. Your strategies between you guys were really, really good. Dylan and I were making comments about when you guys pitted and trying to see where everybody else was going to pit, and was like, you can't let them pit too far in front of you. They're just going to stretch it out on you on those fresh tires, and you're never going to catch them. But there was a lot of guys that chose to stay out, 7, 10, 15 laps longer, and it just showed when you guys were out on track and they pitted and came back out, and you guys were just gone. Um, same question that I gave the other two. Give us an overall of what you felt tonight and what brought you to victory lane.
Well, truck was fast. That was important. But nah, just like J-Paw hit on the nose there. It's all about qualifying at these tracks, and in this league in general, you just have to qualify in the front to stay there, and qualifying second. And like he said, got some friends around. That's always a plus. We're always gonna race each other clean, and just being out in the lead and just seeing no one in front of you is the key for these short tracks, man. I can't tell you how many I lost just getting stuck, maybe fifth or sixth even, and you're just stuck there. But no, truck was fast, teammates were fast. It was great night. I mean, and then winning on Father's Day. I lost my dad back in November, and I won on my birthday. Griff won the day my dad passed with the tribute car. It's just perfect storm going all around, and I couldn't be happier.
Well, I wasn't gonna bring it up, but I thought about bringing it up at the same time. Like you said, Father's Day. Losing your dad. I can't imagine what that was for you or what to go through that. But I mean, it's got to be a little bit of a pulse pusher through your heart with your teammate winning with the memorial car or the tribute car, you winning on your birthday this year, then winning on Father's Day. It's got to be a little bit lighter for you. I know it doesn't make a difference. It doesn't do that for you, but it's got to be a little bit of a shout out for you for recognizing your dad every time you guys come through here. It seems like every time there's an important race, whether it's like I said the tribute car, your birthday, Father's Day, you guys and your group just show out or show up and show out, and usually are 1, 2, 3, 4, or at least tonight 1, 2, and then having friends also with Sam Wade in third. Definitely a huge thing for you guys, and just a huge congratulations to you. Um, I know you're probably going to come out and celebrate and stuff like that, but definitely a huge heavy heart, but lightning maybe a little bit with winning on Father's Day.
Oh yeah, it helps absolutely. And then these guys are like family on this team and in our friend group with everyone. They actually bought me the diecast versions of the cars from Richmond. So I have the Griff winning diecast with my dad's tribute on the hood, and then the car I ran, and I have them with my dad in my little keepsake with him. And it's these guys bring me to tears. They do these things, and it's just so heartwarming. These guys are family. They're more than friends, and I'm gonna have to post a picture of it and post it in the turn down for watch chat so everyone can see it because it's so awesome.
Well, it's definitely a huge thing. I know, we've got many leagues that guys drive in, and I know this is one of the leagues that a lot of guys joined as soon as they moved over from Xbox and stuff. And I know we've had history of arguments or fights or whatever, but all families fight. So I look at all you guys as family. It's a huge thing. Papa Bear does so much for everybody with trying to include everybody and make it a family atmosphere, but a really competitive family atmosphere, especially with you guys on your team, and then the whole group of guys that you guys are, and then the rest of the field as well. Everybody just puts so much into it to really kind of push each other, and it's funny because starting out with Turn Down for we only had the Xfinity Series, and it was Bane winning over and over and over, and then we go to the Truck Series, and it was Hunter Peach winning, you know, double-digit wins last season to take his championship, and now you've got Nate Lehman, a teammate, winning the championship in Xfinity, and you've got you three at the top three spots in the Truck Series going for the championship. So any one of you could win this championship with 3 races to go, and I know you guys are saying teammates out front in the points, and you can't do anything, and teammate winning the race in front of you, or teammate right out in front of you in the race itself, whether it's for the win or
Yeah.
not. But you guys every week show up, show out, go home with the wins. Griff's got 3 wins. You've got now 3 wins. I think Enrique won earlier. Only that one and only J-Pa needs to bring home that win. Just
He will. He will.
I know
I'm
he's
too old
close.
to win
He
now.
will.
I'm too old to win, Swats.
Oh, 25's not old. Come on. You're only a little older than I am.
I'm only 26. So.
Well, Dylan, you got any questions for this car that was just, or the truck that was on just rails tonight? As we kept talking about, he took the lead early on in the race, then fought back and got it again, and just never really looked back. I'm sure he looked up in the mirror a couple times to see if J. Paul was closing, but just an overall just dusting on the rest of the field. It was kind of dominant, like J. Paul had last season. So maybe J. Paul's hinting towards maybe somebody went back and watched the race from last season and stole his line. I don't know.
No.
Yeah, I do have a question for you there, Cole. Again, congrats on the dominating win. Again, sorry for the loss of your dad. Kind of explain to me and Swats how it was kind of navigating through lap traffic and what the truck felt like on older tires coming to, I'd say, like 60 to 70 lap old tires and getting down into pit road.
First part, thank you. I appreciate you. Second, it was a nightmare. I'm not gonna lie. For me, I was burning my stuff up pretty early, but just not knowing, and I didn't have my push to talk button. I had to reset my wheel, so I couldn't ask or tell or say anything. But no, those guys, they got out of the way. They kind of seen the line that the leaders were running, and there was a couple hairy times where on the fresh tires, those guys were battling side by side. I had to split the dip a little bit, but that's part of Bristol. You come to this thing, you know there's going to be some lap traffic, and you're just going to have to maneuver it. But Josh Arnold, man, he was flying on those long runs. That when we pit together and got the big lead, I was just staring at my standings, my relative, my lap times, just watching him, not even watching the track. I don't even know if I looked forward at all. Just watching that, knowing he was faster in the long run. So he would have gave me a run for my money if it stayed green. But tires were everything. Those fresh tires you've seen, just how much we pulled away on those guys that stayed out, and that's just the name of the game.
Yeah, that did happen. It looked like Byron Jones actually went 102 laps on tires. Did you think maybe you would want to try that strategy with him, or did you just want to hit any chance that you got under caution?
We stayed out early. I think there was a caution like 20 laps in that we stayed out knowing that tires are important and you need it's all about track position too. You need to be in the front. You can have fresh tires and caught in an accident the next 2 laps if you started mid-pack. But Byron Jones surprised me when he stayed out and then came back down. We've seen that's what happens when these things stay green. You just never know. But I want to shout out to Zach Meredith too. I feel bad for him, man. He was flying. He was faster than me in the one run and got caught with a black flag. He would have been up there battling. And then
Oh,
I'm just
that's what
shouting out
happened
to
to Zach.
teammates.
We couldn't figure out what happened to him.
Yeah,
All
I
of a
think
sudden
he
he
got
was
caught
gone.
passing
I
the
was like, I
truck.
don't know what happened.
Yeah, I think passing the pace truck coming down with those weird pit roads kind of got him.
Ooh,
But
you hate
no,
to see
great
it.
race all around for everyone, man. It's just unreal.
Definitely, congratulations, like I said, on the number 3 win of the season. You guys wrapping up, I think, 7 wins total between your teams so far, with 3 races to go. Michigan coming up, then Charlotte, and then I think we're going to wrap up with the Auto Club this time. You've been fast on multiple different variations of tracks. Coming up with Michigan, Charlotte, and Auto Club, what are your expectations or feelings going into those 3 tracks? As they're not that difficult per se. You got to rely on traffic, being out of the way. You got to rely on the draft. You got to rely on not a whole lot of side-by-side racing because it just drags you back from the field. So, what's your expectations going into those 3 races? And then, can you catch Josh Arnold and your other teammate Nate Lehman in the points?
I don't think so. Those guys are so fast, and the end of the season with these tracks, we're all going to be pretty similar, all about what ratios you go with and how you can save the tires. And us as a group, we always try to stick to the same stuff, so we're going to be all working together, and we're all tough to beat at every kind of track we go to. So it's just a crapshoot who's going to win, and we're always happy if one of us at least wins. So as long, even the championship, if Griff wins, J-Paul wins, we're all going to be happy.
All right. Well, you hear it from the winner tonight. Definitely a strong team, strong group of guys that you guys got between the 2 or 3 teams that you guys got. But another great race tonight. It turned down for what? 3 cautions tonight at 200 laps at Bristol. Ran it in about an hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes, which was a super fast race for Bristol with only 3 cautions. So, like I said, you guys are always super clean, super fast. A lot of skill between first through 15th, first through 10th. Really, you guys just unbelievable for the way you guys drive on track. I'm glad I'm not a racer anymore because I'm sure we'd had more cautions if I was out on track. So bringing it down to 3 cautions, it's incredible at Bristol for 200 laps. Dylan, really appreciate you jumping in the booth. I know it was kind of last minute with me hitting you up. You're like I've said before, you're always welcome in the booth. I love having somebody in here to talk to, and between Pete, you, and a couple others, it's been really nice to have you guys in the booth. And next week at Michigan, definitely can get stretched out. So having you in the booth would be really nice if you're able to join.
Oh
And
yeah,
I know you won at Michigan in HTL's next gen series, if I'm not mistaken. So bringing
yeah, I
some.
beat Mr. Yeah, I beat him by .019, but who's keeping track, you know?
So bringing
So,
some expertise and some skill to that track with us next weekend if you can make it. Every week, 9:10 is the time I'll go live. 9:15 is usually when I bring it in to the pre-race show to talk about the league and the drivers. And then 9:30 is when the green flag drops. So definitely pay attention and jump in every weekend if you can. Appreciate everybody out in the chat. I appreciate Mike Campbell, the third or junior. I'm not sure which one. The son of Papa Bear. I'll just say that. Hitting up the chat tonight. Appreciate Shad dropping the bits and being in the booth as well, or being in the chat as well. I know he's working, so appreciate that. And then just overall appreciation of the drivers and Papa Bear doing everything he can to promote and push this league forward. And like I said, there's other leagues. Dylan, you drive in ARCs on Saturday night with Pete and myself in the booth. You drive Monday nights in HTL iRacing that's produced by me. And then the rest of these guys drive, I think, on Fridays and maybe another week too for a different series. But anyway, catch them on Friday nights. Definitely appreciate everybody. So we'll catch everybody live next weekend here Sunday night. Thank you.